Red lights covered the sky of planet Solmar. The air was thick with smoke and heat. Buildings burned. People ran through the streets, screaming. But there was nowhere to go. The sky itself was falling. From high above, giant alien ships floated like shadows. They were dark, huge, and full of death. This was the 99th world to fall. The Zorkon armada had already taken 98 planets. They moved fast, like a storm across the stars. No one could stop them. Every race that stood against them was crushed. Every defense line was broken. The galaxy had never seen such power. On their ship, the Zorkon commander stood tall. His armor was black with red symbols. His face showed no fear, no pity. Around him were his officers, each one trained for war. The commander raised one hand. "Send the message," he said in a cold voice. A signal was sent across the stars. It was short. Only 3 words. "Solmar is broken." The fleet above the planet opened fire again. Yellow beams rained down. Cities turned into fire. Solmar's leaders begged for mercy, but the Zorkon gave none. They never did. From space it looked beautiful. A planet burning like a red jewel in the dark. But on the ground it was horror. Machines crushed buildings. Alien soldiers hunted anyone still alive. They laughed as they fired their weapons. This was not just war. It was a message. "We are the rulers now," the commander whispered. After the planet was silent, the Zorkon fleet turned. They did not stay to rebuild. They did not care for the land. Their mission was only to destroy, to conquer, and to keep moving. There was only one planet left on their list, Earth. The name appeared on the commander's screen, blue and green. Small, far away, the last free world in the known galaxy. "Easy," one officer said. "They are nothing compared to us." The commander nodded. "We end it now." But then something strange happened. A signal came in. Not from another conquered world, not from a spy, not from a friend. It came from Earth. The message was short. Just one sentence. "Turn back. Earth is not like the others." The room went quiet. Zorkon commanders stared at the words. Some looked confused, others laughed. The commander narrowed his eyes. "Who sent this?" he asked. "Unknown," an officer replied. "It came through 10 layers of encryption. We almost didn't catch it." "Is it a trap?" someone asked. "Possibly. Or it could be pride. Humans are weak, but proud." The commander walked toward the screen. He looked at the blue planet. Earth looked so normal, so peaceful. It didn't have a big army. It didn't have colonies. It didn't even fight during the early parts of the war. It just watched. "Strange," the commander muttered. They waited. They watched, but they never spoke. Until now. Another officer stepped forward. "Should we change course?" The commander laughed. "For what? For a threat? From a weak world with no empire, no war fleet, no star bases? No, we go forward." But in the back of the room, a junior officer frowned. He had studied human history. He knew something the others didn't. "Sir," he said quietly, "what if they were waiting on purpose?" The commander turned. "Explain." The young officer swallowed hard. "There are stories, old files. From before the galaxy was united, humans fought each other for thousands of years. Their wars were brutal. They created weapons that could destroy whole cities. They even dropped fire from the sky on their own kind." The room was quiet again. "I read one thing," the officer continued. "It said, humans only look peaceful, but inside they burn like stars. When pushed, they do not kneel. They rise." The commander stared at him. "Enough stories. Prepare the fleet. Earth is next." Thousands of ships turned, engines glowed, the armada began its move. From behind the moons of Solmar, the ships vanished into the blackness of space. But Earth had already seen them coming. Back in the Sol system, deep under the surface of the moon, an old control room lit up for the first time in years. Screens blinked. Alarms flashed. A computer woke from its sleep. A voice spoke. Zorkon fleet detected. Prepare Earth defense protocol. In a mountain bunker on Earth, a man in uniform opened his eyes. General Kara Malik stood from her chair. She looked at the glowing screen in front of her. "They're coming," she said. Another officer beside her asked, "Should we send a warning to the people?" General Malik shook her head. "No, not yet. Let them sleep one more night." In orbit around Earth, dark shapes began to move. They were not visible to the naked eye. They had no lights, no sound, just shadows. Warships, hundreds of them. Hidden for decades. Each ship was armed with weapons no other race had seen. Each one powered by energy cores taken from ancient wars. Earth had been silent, but not unarmed. Inside one of the warships, Captain Elias Ward stood in the command center. His hands rested on the control panel. "After all these years," he said, "they finally picked the wrong target." Another officer smiled. "You really think we're ready?" Elias nodded. "They crushed 99 worlds. They think Earth will be number 100. He turned to face the large screen showing the stars. "But Earth will be their final mistake." In deep space, the Zorkon fleet flew fast. Each ship carried thousands of soldiers, weapons, machines. They had maps of Earth's defenses, or so they thought. As they neared the Sol system, they sent scouts ahead. Then something strange happened again. The scouts didn't come back. One by one, they disappeared. No signal, no trace. Gone. The Zorkon grew nervous. "Maybe we hit a gravity field," one officer said. "Maybe Earth has jamming tech," said another. But the commander was quiet. He remembered the message. "Turn back." "Let's test them," he said. He sent a destroyer ship toward Earth. It had strong shields, fast weapons, one of the best ships in the fleet. As it reached the edge of the asteroid belt, it sent a ping to Earth's satellites. Then it was destroyed, not hit, not damaged, destroyed. Gone in one flash. No known weapon could do that. Now the Zorkon fleet stopped. A line of ships hovered in space, unsure. The commander stood. His hands were tight fists. "Ready all ships," he ordered. "We end this now." But deep in Earth's command center, General Malik had already given the order. "Activate the Black Protocol," she said. From Neptune's orbit, something massive moved. A shadow the size of a small moon. It had no name. It was not even on Earth's own maps anymore. It was a ship. The oldest, largest warship built by humanity. Hidden for decades. It powered up. Lights ran along its spine. Cannons shifted. Engines glowed blue. Captain Ward smiled when he saw it on his screen. "Welcome back, Leviathan." The Zorkon were not ready. No one ever was. The stars near the edge of the solar system shimmered quietly. Everything looked peaceful. But something hidden behind the light was waking up. It had slept for many years, silent and forgotten. Now it opened its eyes. From a deep orbit near Neptune, the massive ship known only as Leviathan started to move. It did not make a sound, but its power could be felt across space. It was large enough to carry smaller warships inside it. Its surface was covered in dark metal and strange shapes. The ship had no name painted on it, no flag. It was simply there. Inside Leviathan, the old systems came to life. Lights blinked, engines hummed. Long corridors, quiet for decades, now echoed with steps. Crew members moved into their stations. Some looked nervous, others calm. But all of them knew what this meant. Captain Elias Ward stood on the main bridge. The large viewing screen showed the Zorkon ships in the distance. Still far, but coming closer. "They'll try to scan us soon," said his second officer. "A woman named May. Let them," Elias said. "They'll see only darkness." Earth had planned for this. While other races built bigger armies, Earth had built silence. Hidden weapons, secret systems. They didn't want to conquer anyone. They only wanted to be ready. Now, after 99 worlds had fallen, Earth was the last line. Back on the surface of Earth, General Kara Malik stood in the command room. Maps floated in the air around her, showing the positions of Earth's hidden ships. From under oceans, inside, mountains, and behind moons, Earth's fleet was rising. "Tell them to hold position," she said. "Let the Zorkon come closer." A young officer beside her looked nervous. "Shouldn't we warn them again?" Kara shook her head. "They were warned once. That's more than they gave anyone else." Up in space, the Zorkon commander sat in his large command chair. He looked at the blue planet ahead and the stars behind it. He felt something strange in his chest. Not fear, but a kind of pressure. As if something unseen was watching him. "Still no sign of their fleet?" he asked. "No, Commander, their skies are empty." The commander narrowed his eyes. "Too quiet." He turned to his lead sensor officer. "Scan every moon, every asteroid, every shadow." The officer did as ordered. Slowly, scans reached out in every direction. Most returned with nothing. Then, something. A flicker. A heat source behind Neptune. It moved, but not like a comet or ship. It was slower, heavier. "What is that?" the commander asked. "We don't know." The screen changed, showing a shape. A huge one. Black with no clear edges. It absorbed light. The Zorkon commander stood. His officers looked at the screen, confused. "Send more scouts," he ordered. "Find out what it is." But deep, inside the Leviathan, Earth's AI systems had already tracked the incoming scouts. The ship didn't fire. It didn't chase them. It simply disappeared. To the Zorkon scouts, the massive shape vanished. 1 second it was there, the next, nothing. "They're using some kind of shadow tech," one scout reported. "We can't lock onto it." Back on Earth, General Malik smiled. "They're watching," she said, "but they're still blind." More Earth ships began to rise now, slowly, quietly. One by one, they moved into position behind the outer planets. Not to strike yet, but to wait. To listen. Captain Ward walked to the large window on Leviathan's bridge. He stared into the black. "We could end this fast," May said beside him. "No," Ward replied. "We end this smart." The Zorkon fleet continued forward. Their ships lined up, forming a wide net. Their commander was cautious now. He didn't want surprises. "Prepare a message," he said. His voice was calm, but cold. "To Earth. Surrender, and we will not harm your planet. Refuse, and your world will be taken." The message was sent. Back on Earth, General Malik read the words on her screen. She didn't speak for a long time. Then she turned to her officers. "Send this back," she said. "We are Earth. We are not afraid." The reply reached the Zorkon ships minutes later. The commander read it, then leaned back in his chair. "They truly believe they can stand against us." But in the silence of space, something stirred. A whisper in the dark. Not of fear, but of promise. Earth had not spoken for so long. But now, it would show the galaxy why. The silence before dawn in Darishantiyan space felt heavy. Not the kind of silence that brings peace, but one that holds its breath. Earth's fleet waited in the shadows, unmoving, like statues carved from darkness. The stars blinked slowly, unaware of the tension building just beyond their light. Inside, the command center of Leviathan, Captain Elias Ward stood still. Hands behind his back, eyes locked on the screen. There was no sign of movement yet, but he knew. The moment was near. Every ship in Earth's fleet was listening to the silence, ready for what was to come. On Earth's moon, the Echo Station was now fully active. It had been hidden for decades, under layers of rock and dust. Now its antennae reached out into space, watching every signal. Commander Lin was in charge here. She wore a calm face, but her fingers tapped gently against the console. "Zorkon movement pattern has changed," her officer said. Lin leaned closer. "How?" "They've slowed down, changed formation, almost like they're searching for something." She narrowed her eyes. "They feel it. They just don't know what it is yet." Far away, Among the cold stars, the Zorkan ships floated, like metal giants. Their bright hulls reflected the light of nearby stars, looking proud and untouchable. But their command center was filled with quiet tension. The Zorkan commander was not foolish. He had fought many battles, seen many tactics. But never before had he faced such quiet. No defenses, no threats, no chaos. Just the endless silence of a planet that refused to speak or kneel. He opened a map of Earth's system again. So many moons, so many hiding places, too many shadows. Send another probe, he ordered, this time to Saturn's orbit. As the probe moved, Earth systems picked it up. From one of Saturn's smaller moons, a ship hidden under thick ice watched in silence. Inside, a young pilot named Rio waited for the signal. He watched the probe on his screen. It was getting closer, too close. Not yet, his commander said through the comm. But let it pass. Rio obeyed. The probe drifted nearby, taking scans. Then it moved on. And still, Earth said nothing. On the Leviathan, Captain Ward's voice echoed in the bridge. They're testing our silence, he said. May stood beside him, arms crossed. And we're letting them. Ward nodded slowly. Because soon, they'll believe we're weak. He turned to the crew. Send the next phase signal. Across the solar system, hidden ships received the signal. No words. Just a single tone. From beneath the oceans of Europa, from deep inside Mars's canyons, from the edge of Pluto's orbit, ships moved. Not forward, not to attack, but into position. Like pieces on a chessboard. Meanwhile on Earth, General Malik looked over live scans. Each dot represented a ship, each line a path. The galaxy had always thought Earth stayed behind, that they were late to every battle. But what the galaxy never understood was simple. Earth had always been watching. Are the systems in place? She asked. Yes, General, the mirror fields are ready. Mirror fields. Earth's secret to staying unseen, not by hiding, but by reflecting. The Zorkan couldn't find what looked like empty space. Back in Zorkan Command, frustration was growing. The commander spoke again. They have ships. They have power. I can feel it. But why do they not respond? One of his officers spoke quietly. Maybe they don't need to. It was a strange thought. The idea that someone could wait because they already had the advantage. As hours passed, small things began to change. Signals bounced back differently. Stars flickered wrong. Soundless echoes moved through space. The Zorkan noticed. They couldn't explain it. But something was wrong. Their commander felt the truth like a cold wind. Prepare all ships, he said. We may be walking into something far deeper than we expected. From the shadows, Earth's fleet watched. Still hidden, still silent. But the silence now felt like a message. They were here. They had always been here. And they were ready. The stars above Neptune flickered unnaturally that cycle. As if the sky itself was holding its breath. But the galaxy didn't notice. They rarely paid attention to Earth's outer edge, to the places they thought were empty, silent, and forgotten. But silence, Earth had learned, could be its sharpest signal. On the command deck of the Leviathan, Captain Elias Ward studied the new data feed. Patterns danced across the screen like waves. Waves only those trained by Earth's silent watchers could understand. The Zorkan fleet had changed course again, moving faster but not closer. They were circling now, unsure, cautious. They don't trust what they're seeing, May said, watching from behind. They're not seeing anything, Elias answered calmly. That's the problem. Meanwhile, on Europa's deep monitoring base, a message arrived in a single pulse of sound. Lieutenant Mara, seated alone in a frozen chamber far below the ice, leaned forward. Her breath fogged up the glass in front of her. She knew what the signal meant. Phase 3. Above her, ships hidden beneath layers of natural ice began to activate. Their engines remained cool, barely warm enough to read. But their systems came online, quiet as a whisper. On Earth, General Malik stood in the center of the planetary defense hall. Around her, holographic screens showed the quiet dance of ships, probes, and sensor fields. All moving, all preparing, no alarms, no words, just purpose. "Give me the cloak readings," she ordered. Her assistant, a calm woman named Arya, nodded and brought up the graphs. The lines showed something few in the galaxy had ever seen. Planet and fleet hidden in full view. Earth didn't hide by staying invisible. Earth hid by looking completely ordinary. Ships designed to reflect background space. Satellites that mimicked space dust. Bases shaped like natural rocks, and all of it moving, slowly. Because slow was safe. Slow was forgotten. The Zorkon still didn't understand. Their commanders kept searching for heat, noise, movement, things they believed showed power. But Earth was showing none of it, until now. Near the asteroid field beyond Mars, one of Earth's oldest scout ships, the Sol Whisper, drifted quietly, pretending to be a derelict. Aboard, Captain Rena stared out into the empty dark. "There, probe just passed," her first officer said. "They didn't stop." "Good," Rena replied. "Then they'll think we're just another rock." But her ship was no rock. It held the key to something even greater. Inside the Sol Whisper's core was a chamber that no outsider had ever seen. A beacon, not made to call for help, but to unlock Earth's hidden stations spread across the stars. Each one built before Earth had even joined the wider galactic network. Long ago, when Earth knew that one day someone might try to silence them. The beacon pulsed once, and on Saturn's rings, a long-forgotten platform opened its metal eye. On Mercury's shadowed side, a hidden lens pointed to the stars, and in the frozen belt beyond Pluto, a dormant satellite began to blink for the first time in 50 years, each light a signal, each signal a quiet reminder. Earth had prepared. Inside the Zorkon lead vessel, confusion turned into concern. The space around them felt different. They didn't understand how or why, only that their systems weren't giving full answers anymore. The lead commander paced slowly. "There's something beneath this quiet," he said. "I feel it." His advisor looked nervous. "What do we do?" He paused. "We listen." So they listened, and they heard nothing. No warnings, no demands, no mistakes. Just silence. But silence, that was now too perfect. It was no longer the silence of weakness. It was the silence of something hidden, waiting, watching. Back on Earth, Captain Ward received the final green signal. "All ships are in place," May said. "Saturn's eyes are open. Europa is warmed. Mercury's mirror is ready." Ward nodded once. His voice was steady, calm. "Then it's time we let the stars know." He didn't finish the sentence. He didn't need to, because Earth never shouted. It simply acted when it was ready. And now, it was. The stars over Earth shimmered with unusual calm. To anyone watching, it looked like just another peaceful night in space. But deep beneath the calm, something had changed. Something the galaxy had never expected. For the first time in 100 years, Earth had sent no replies to the outer world. No signals, no transmissions, not even a whisper. But it wasn't because Earth was afraid. It was because Earth was listening. Inside the quiet command room of the Leviathan, the largest vessel in Earth's hidden fleet, Captain Elias Ward stood in silence, surrounded by calm lights and blinking screens. His hands were behind his back. His eyes were locked on the live data feed. The enemy fleet, the same one that had passed through over 99 star systems without challenge, had now paused. Right outside Earth's reach. "They've slowed again," said May, watching her display. "This time, they're scanning. Deeper. They're searching for something they can't name." "They're close enough to sense it now," Elias replied. "They just don't understand what they're sensing." No one in the galaxy truly understood Earth's network. Most thought Earth was slow to grow, that it had watched the stars from a distance, waiting, unsure. But that wasn't the truth. Earth had grown quietly on purpose. Over decades, it had sent scouts to forgotten moons, to asteroids with no name, to the edge of suns that no one else studied. Each mission had a silent purpose, to place a piece of something bigger. And now, for the first time, every piece was awake. On the far side of the moon, behind a smooth gray ridge, a station hidden in shadow activated its signal mirrors. The mirrors reflected faint light toward a deep space node near Neptune. The signal passed like a silent code, bouncing, adjusting, connecting. One by one, Earth's ancient platforms lit up like dots on a secret map. Not with fire or sound, but with quiet readiness. They connected across space with light too weak for enemy ships to trace. But the pattern was clear to those who knew where to look. Inside Earth's central deep core room, General Malik stood near a console that hadn't been touched in decades. Her hand hovered above a round panel. Arya, her assistant, stood nearby, with a quiet nod. "Are we sure the signal won't be noticed?" Malik asked. "It's shaped to look like background noise," Arya answered. "It will hide inside the natural hum of space." Malik pressed her hand on the panel. The console lit up with old golden light. From Mars to Mercury, from Europa to the Belt, something hidden beneath Earth's surface started to move. Not machines of destruction, but platforms of understanding. Data stations, shield grids, and shipyards that had gone unnoticed for years suddenly aligned. Not to fight, but to reveal. Back aboard the Sol Whisper, Captain Rena received the final green code. A soft light blinked on her control deck. Her crew leaned forward, eyes focused. "They're within visual range," said her officer. Rena nodded. "Hold position. Let them look." Outside the ship, the enemy scouts passed slowly. They turned their sensors forward, but found nothing but drifting dust, cold rock, and calm. And then, just for a second, one of the stars above flickered in a strange rhythm. The enemy paused. It was subtle, but it didn't fit. "What was that?" one of the enemy officers asked. "Just a reflection," another replied. They didn't know. They had passed through so many star systems easily that they had forgotten how to look deeper. They forgot that not every world showed its strength with loud engines or great fire. Some simply waited. Some prepared quietly. And now, the quiet was getting louder, not in noise, but in presence. Something was there. They felt it. But they didn't know how to name it. And Earth still said nothing, because Earth had waited long enough, and now, with every ship in place, every mirror aligned, and every signal ready, the time had come. Not for destruction, not for noise, but for truth. And truth was already rising, like the slow reveal of a world that was never weak, only patient. The galaxy held its breath. For the first time in decades, the great fleets from beyond Earth had stopped moving. Their ships, once loud and full of pride, now hovered silently near Earth's outer edge. No signal came from them, no challenge, only questions. Inside their ships, confusion spread. The stars looked the same, but something felt different here. It wasn't fear. It wasn't threat. It was something deeper, like walking into a quiet room and realizing someone was already watching. In Earth's orbit, dozens of silent vessels waited in shadow. They weren't massive or shining. They didn't show weapons or great flags, but they moved with purpose. Smooth, calm, together. On board the ship Horizon's Echo, Admiral Lena stood at the edge of the viewing deck. The stars reflected in her eyes, but her thoughts were far beyond them. "We're not here to show power," she said softly. "We're here to show truth." Beside her, her first officer, Jonah, looked puzzled. "But will they understand that?" "They will," she replied, "or they'll leave wondering forever." Far above them, an old satellite turned, its dish pointing outward. Not to send warnings, but to begin a signal Earth had kept locked away for generations. It was a story, told in waves, light, and rhythm. A message not of command, but of memory. The message crossed space in quiet patterns, echoing through gravity fields, bouncing across cold rock and gas. Each signal found another, and together they began to form something larger. A picture, a timeline, a map. On the enemy ships, technicians leaned forward as screens lit up. "What is this?" one whispered. "It's not a weapon," said another. "No," said their commander. "It's history." The images on their screens were not of war, but of years of watching, listening, learning. Earth had seen the fall of the 99 worlds. It had studied the mistakes made by every civilization before them, and instead of joining blindly, it had taken another path, a path of silence, a path of study, a path of deep understanding. The images showed Earth building, step by step, layer by layer. Ships were shaped in secret, stations were hidden in asteroid fields. But more than that, Earth had spent its time learning the heart of others, learning not just how to survive, but why survival mattered. And now, the enemy fleet saw it. They saw the choice Earth had made, to rise not with noise, but with quiet, strength. On the Leviathan, Captain Elias watched the signal complete. "They've seen it now," he said, "all of it." "What will they do?" May asked. "They'll decide," he said. "But not by force, that part is over." In deep space, the enemy fleet slowly began to move again, but not forward, not closer. The lead ships turned gently. Their lights dimmed. Their signals grew quiet. They had come ready to prove themselves, but now they weren't so sure what that meant anymore. They had seen something they couldn't explain. Not fear, not defeat, but a mirror, a reflection of what they could have been. And Earth, still silent, simply waited. In homes across the planet, people looked up at the night sky. They didn't see the hidden ships, the satellites, or the message dancing through space, but they felt something in the quiet. Hope. Not because Earth had won anything, not because there was a fight, but because Earth had chosen to be ready, without ever needing to shout. And across the stars, that choice had been noticed. For the first time, the galaxy moved back, not with fear, but with thought. And Earth remained steady, prepared, peaceful, patient. Because sometimes, the strongest thing a world can be is simply ready when the moment arrives.